Okay, so today we're going to be doing powers of 10 and how to move the decimal place. So let's start off with the first number of 1 times 10. What does that equal? 1 times 10 equals 10. Now we can also write that in exponential form, which is 1 times 10 to the first. So notice we're multiplying 1 times 10. What we're doing is actually moving the decimal place from the 1 over a decimal place. That's what is going on here. Here, let me clear that. So you can see over here, 1 times 10 to the 1 is 1 times 10 to the 1 power, which means the decimal point starts off there with the 1. Times 10 means we move the decimal point 1 spot over. And because we move the decimal point 1 spot over, it is now a 10. So let's cross that out. There you go. So moved it from there to there. We have 10, which. Next we have the next one, 1 times 10, and we can multiply that by 10. So 10 times 10, or 1 times 10 times 10, is 100. We can also write that in scientific notation, which is 1 times 10 to the 2, which means we move the decimal point 2 places. So here I'll show you again, 1, and we move it 1, 2 places. So now the decimal point is there. What do? We fill in those blanks here with zeros. So that's 1 with 2 zeros after, which is 100. Next, you'll see a pattern as we go. 1 times 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000, which is also 1 times 10 to the third, which means we're moving the decimal places 3 times. So it's 1, decimal place 1, 2, 3, 3 places, 1, 2, 3. Now it's 1,000. See how we're moving that decimal place? Okay, so let's continue. One more. 1 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Which is, oh, my bad. Which is 10,000. Notice 4 zeros. Which is also 1 times 10 to the 4. And look what we did. I'll show you here instead of rewriting it again. That we move the decimal point from the 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And those 4 spaces we filled in, I'll show you here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And we fill in those spaces with zeros. So it's 10, and there's going to be a comma here, 1,000, and there's a little decimal at the end. So notice, when we're multiplying by the positive numbers, we're moving the decimal point to be larger and larger and larger numbers. We'll do one more just for giggles. Actually, I'm going to jump ahead. Do one more. 1 times... Oh, change colors. 1 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which gives us not 10,000, but 100,000, which is also 10 to the 5. 1 times 10 to the 5, which is taking the 1 and then moving the decimal point 5 spaces. That way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the decimal point. And we fill in those little loopies with zeros. So now we have 100,000, which is there. Let's go for the million. Why not? 1 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Whew. That is 1 million. Uh-oh. That's a lot. 1 million has, how many zeros are there? 1, yeah, go back. 1 times 10 to the 6. And how did we show that to the 6th? We started off with 1, and then we moved that decimal point, one bigger, 1, where'd it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And now we can put the commas in there. Boop. Boop. And then we have a million. So 10 to the 6 has 6 zeros. So that is doing the exponent of a positive number. But now we're going to do negative numbers. So I'll do the positives first. Got that? And now we're going to do negatives.